All right, it's about time we did some work out here. So, nothing much has changed since you last saw it, really. Still a mess. The main thing that has changed is I managed to break the wood pile down. I filled a couple of ton bags here with rubbish. This to be gotten rid of. Um, so, the next thing I want to tackle is some storage. So, all this stuff needs good places to live that isn't just the floor. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to tackle these storage boxes here. So I need to do some organization, I need to sort some stuff. I'm going to move all these tables and outdoor furniture and stuff down the back, get a little bit of organization going there. And then I'm going to make some storage racks for these fish box, bin type produce box things. So I think I have about 15 of them. And I've got down there, I've got a bunch of 4x2s that I got recently for the workbench project. But I think I'm actually going to sacrifice some of them and do the storage before the workbench. Bold strategy, I know. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that because that means I can clear this area and figure out what storage boxes I want to use and what ones I'm going to get rid of. Other thing I got, this cabinet here, this kind of roll front cabinet, was graciously donated to me by my dad. He found this when he's clearing out an office space for some people. So he kindly donated this to me. It has these drawers that you insert and they come out on sliders. So I'm also going to be fitting the drawers to this, and I might make like a base that it sits on that'll have casters so that I can also move it around. And yeah, so some of this crap will end up in that. So that's what we're doing today. First thing we're going to start with, gonna do a little bit of sorting and organizing in here, tidy some stuff up. Then I'm gonna figure out how many of these storage boxes I want, take some rough measurements. I'm not doing plans for this, I'm just gonna eyeball the whole construction of the storage racks for these. I'm also gonna probably clean them up, brought out some disinfectant because I know I found some dead mice in some of these boxes as I was pawing through them earlier. So yeah, I'm going to disinfect them. I mean, it's probably not going to be the last mice that are ever in them, but at least while I'm handling them now, they'll be clean. So that's what we're doing. Let's get to it. So a theme with this whole video you're going to see is that there's a lot of reorganizing and organizing and moving stuff around in the workshop. I did need to do this in terms of just needing a space to work that was a bit better. Most of the stuff has just been parked here since we moved in, and since I started cleaning stuff, just literally was dumping things anywhere they'd go semi-sensibly so that I could get around them. But now is the time to really start moving on this. So yeah, this is the very first part, just moving most of all these garden tools. I put them into a nice neat place up near the door, and then moved all the furniture to the back of the space just to try and just push stuff out of the way that I wasn't going to be using anytime soon. All right, next part of this job, storage boxes, rubber gloves, and disinfectant. I'm really looking forward to what I might find as I start to unstack these storage boxes, but let's be brave. Let's do it. Now, while this wasn't a particularly pleasant job, it actually wasn't the worst in the world. I didn't find any more dead mice or dead rats, as I did also find before. So yeah, pretty confident that the shed is now free of vermin for the most part. I think it's going to take a while, so I'm just going to turn you guys off. All right, here's all our disinfected boxes. Leave them here to dry. I've got 10 of these kind of larger ones and then 5 of these smaller ones. So 15 boxes to come up with my shelving for. I moved some stuff, so I packed away stuff into the bottom corner, and then a big stack of these boxes, which I'm not planning on using anytime soon, so they're probably just going to go back down there. My cabinet, which I haven't done anything with yet. This table, which I don't know what I'm going to do with that. They left it behind, the previous owners. I'll probably just get rid of it. I don't really like it. And then tidied up a little bit here, moved all the gardening tools where they're at easy reach at the door, and then just kind of organize some of these tools so that the stuff that I'm not really using at the moment is at the back and I can access all the tools that I need. So yeah, I still gotta make the shelves though. I'm kind of out of time for today. I thought I might at least start this, but now that I'm also seeing how many of these I have, I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all. I don't know how big I want the shelving unit to be. Well, the thing is, I want it to be on wheels so that I can wheel it around. So I need to figure out what dimensions. I don't want it to be too high if I'm pushing it around. I also don't want it to be too long, or else it'll sag in the middle with wheels. So yeah, I got to figure that out. But I'm happy to have these boxes. I know their dimensions now, so I actually didn't know what all the sizes of these that I had were. So I'll probably base it around these bigger boxes, because then smaller boxes will fit too. The only thing I do know is they're going to be in this orientation in the shelves. So they're going to be long ways. So the shelves will be relatively deep, and that's because the grab handles are on the front. So it'll be easy just to grab a handle and pull a box out. Yeah, so yeah, I'll figure it out from there. I think maybe 4 wide. In my head, I have 15, so I'm like, oh, it'll be 5 by 3. But then they'll probably sag in the middle and stuff. So maybe 4, maybe 3 by 3. That would be something. I wouldn't use all of them, but it'd be something. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Yeah, I run out of time for today, so I'm gonna come back tomorrow, or whenever. It'll be an instant for you guys. So yeah, that's the next thing. I'm gonna do a bit of planning and then come back and do some building. So stay tuned.
So unwrapping some timber here to start off with my first cuts. These big, long 4x2s, they're 5 meters long. They're kind of unwieldy and hard to use because my miter bench isn't set up yet. I just have my miter saw on the Workmate. These beer kegs with a couple of the spare boxes really saved my life here with being able to balance the long pieces of wood while I made the first cuts on them.
Alright, so there's the rough idea about how these are going to go together. As you can imagine, this is on its side right now, and the 2 upright pieces of wood there I just put in for spacing, just to make sure I had enough room. I was a little bit concerned that I might have made them too tight, but I think they're going to be fine. So yeah, that's basically how it's going to work. Yeah, so I got to start screwing stuff together now. So if I take this out, start of the construction is these kind of the bottom pieces. Ignore the uprights. The bottom pieces are like sort of like ladders. So I make pretty much 4 of those. Well, no, 3 of them. So 2 end pieces and then 1 in the middle. The 2 end pieces have 2 lengths of 90 and then 3 60s, and then the one in the middle has 2 90s and 6 60s, so 2 on each side. There'll be the uprights, and then there'll just be beams across them. There'll be 4 short beams, which will just go across the damn it, now I just realized I might have cut not enough wood. Oh well. I have plenty. There in real time, you just got my brain throwing a 500 error. So anyway, I'm going to start screwing these together, and then we'll see what we got. It's getting a little bit dark and cold, so I might just do a couple of these and then come back tomorrow and finish the rest. But I'm at least going to do one, so you guys can watch it.
First bit of assembly here is pretty straightforward. It's just 5 pieces of wood, 2 of the long pieces, 3 of the short ones. These are kind of the ladder sections that form the 2 ends and the middle of the board, the middle of the shelf. So just using my quick square, pretty simple, straightforward, lining up the edges and then blasting a few screws in. Nothing wildly complicated about it. The one thing I did want to make sure I got pretty right was the spacing for the shelves. So I was able to get the first one okay, but then, or the top and bottom are fine, but then the middle section is a little bit harder. So what I ended up doing was cutting a piece of wood that I made as a little template. You see me using it at the end here, and that worked really, really well. So I was able to get repeatable shelf heights for all of the sections.
Okay, here's basic construction. Here's a mock-up. The 2 sides are screwed together, and then all the rest is just placed on for now, not screwed in. But this just needs an idea of what it's going to look like. So we've got 8 storage bins there, 4 storage bins there, so there's going to be 8 in total. So basically a clone of this on the other side. And then that'll be one whole rack. We got loads of room for the boxes, and they've got a decent bit of a gap at the sides, or the top and bottom, so that boxes can be slightly overfilled. And one thing I've decided is that the top, I'm going to skin it as a workbench. So it's actually pretty big. In my head it wasn't this large, but it's actually a pretty large surface. So I'm going to skin it as a workbench. I'm going to make 2 of these in total. I think one of them is going to be a workbench for a few of the tools over there. So there's my drill press and bandsaw and lathe are over there. They might go on top of that. And then the other one, I think, will be a miter station. So I'll make 2, raised boxes on either side with the miter saw in the middle. Yeah, this has come together really well. I'm really happy with this. I also realized I didn't cut enough pieces of wood, so got to cut some more wood. But yeah, this is really good. I'm really happy with this progress so far. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep cutting stuff. Also, you saw me use this little guy. So I assembled one of the sides, and it was going fine until I had to put the middle piece on. I just couldn't get it right. It was really hard to line up. So I went and cut this piece, which is exactly 31.7 centimeters, and that is the exact distance it should be to be smack in the middle. So I use that as a little spacer, which made my life a lot easier. So yeah, I'm gonna go and make the other side, and then cut some more stretchers for the shelf bits themselves. And yeah, just gonna keep going. I am gonna end up using a lot of this 4x2 that I had. So I'm only gonna use a small bit of it. Looks like I'm gonna have to order more. So might just be making one of these for now if I run out of wood. Let's see.
It's just a little bit more assembly here, and a good opportunity for me to show off my squat depth and my mobility. I like to call these things that are impressive for a large man to do. But yeah, aside from that, it's all the same. Just blasting screws in, lining things up with the square. It's all pretty straightforward, nothing wildly complicated.
Alright, it's been a few days since I did anything. We're now in the weird days between Christmas and New Year's. First thing I want to show you guys is the casters. I'm going to put the casters on it and show you how to install them. They're pretty cool. So yeah, let's have a look at that. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year.
Now we come to installing the casters. So these casters I bought originally for the big workbench project. I bought a bunch of boxes of them because I knew I'd need quite a few for the large workbench that's going to be doing more than just a standard set of 4. The casters are rated for, I think it's 350 kilograms for a set of 4. So rationally, if you add more to that, hopefully you should be able to get a larger weight rating on them. They install pretty easily. They have this nice little paper template that you stick up against the leg, and yeah, you can mark out the holes and then just blast some screws in. Comes with some fixing hardware. I used my own hardware that I had that was a little bit longer, so it might give me some better grab. But yeah, they work really, really well. For this workbench anyway, they work quite well. I thought because of the length of it, and now maybe when it gets loaded with more stuff on top, or like, the other one that I'm going to make that I'm going to put a bunch of tools on top of, maybe it'll struggle with the weight and it might bow in the middle. But for me, I've tested it, pushed down in the middle myself, and I'm pretty heavy and I can just about make it bend. So yeah, I'm hoping that these are good enough. But the main thing about these particular type of casters that I wanted was that they have this over center mechanism, so that when you click them down, they're locked over center, so they stay. And then when you flick the catch up, they just drop completely out of the way, so that you can let the workbench sit on the ground. So I wanted this kind of for safety and stuff, and also so that no matter what casters I was using, they wouldn't be holding the whole weight of the workbench or whatever the thing was all the time. So hopefully they have, a bit of a longer lifespan. It remains to be seen how that turns out, but we'll see.
Alright, so there's the bones of the workbench basically done. Have it up on its casters right now. It's pretty solid. I finished the top there, so put those across, and basically all it's missing now is just a skin for the top, which I was debating whether I would skin the top of it, but as this project's evolved, I think these are going to be perfect workbench tops as well. So yeah, I'm going to put a skin on top. So I've got these few sheets of OSB over here, which were being reserved for the full sheet workbench that I'm going to build for this space. But I've decided I'm going to sacrifice at least one of them to do the skin on top of this. And this is, I'm going to make another one of these because I have a bunch of storage boxes left. Well, I might. I mean, I suppose I've got a few storage boxes left, but to be honest, I don't have another 8 of these big ones, and these big ones just sit perfectly here. So maybe this might just be this, and then I'll have this one with tools on top, and then maybe I'll have my giant workbench I'm going to build, which will also be on wheels. I'm not sure. I need to buy more materials. Running out. So all the 4x2s I have left. I had 9 of those. Now I've only got 2 and some scraps. So yeah, this is way overbuilt. But what I figure was it's going to be used. There might be some heavy stuff in it. I want it to be on wheels, so I want it to be pretty rigid when you ratchet it up onto its wheels. So overbuilt is probably better. But anyway, very last step now. I'm going to skin the top of this, and then I'm going to call it done on this project for now. But yeah, really happy with how it's going so far. So let's heave one of these really heavy sheets of OSB up here, cut it, screw it down, and yeah, then this will be done. Well, it's funny, I've just stuck this big sheet of OSB, just heaved it up there in its full size. And this is actually the height that I was thinking my big wheelie workbench was going to end up being. And I think I've just decided coincidentally that I'm actually going to make it a little shorter. So I like this workbench is fine at this height, I think. It's going to be perfect what I need it for. But I think, yeah, the big workbench that's going to be this full size sheet, I think I'm actually going to make it a little shorter. Yeah, kind of more of a better assembly height kind of thing. Well, we'll see. I think so, though, anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I got to mark this up. I think I'm going to jigsaw through most of it and then route out with a trim router to get the edges nice and smooth. So let's do that next. So here we are, pretty much finished. We've got our shelves, we have our storage boxes, they'll fit nicely, it's good clearance, so you can grab them out easily, slide them in easily, stuff on top won't get caught. They've got casters, and they've got a nice solid 18mm OSB top that I've trim routed nice and smooth with the edges and given a good sanding too on top. So there's only 2 things left to do. One is I'm going to give the OSB top a little coat of polyurethane, just because OSB does have a tendency to chip out. So I'll give it a coat of poly to try and seal it in, make it just a little bit more robust. And then I've got to fill the storage bins and find a place where I can wheel it to and it can sit in the shop. So yeah, we're getting there, almost done. This project is a lot bigger than I thought. At the start of this video I alluded that I might also show you putting wheels on a cabinet that I have, the roll front cabinet that I got. I think that's going to be a second video at this stage because, yeah, I didn't think this would be quite as much work as it is. And being Christmas and that, pretty busy. But still, really happy to have gotten this done so far. So, last 2 steps, and then we're going to be done with this. So, that's coming next. Okay, here we go. And we are finished. Hooray! I ended up doing a good bit of work off camera here, mostly kind of just organizing the workshop. But this is the workbench. It's all finished. So we got some storage boxes with stuff in them. My toolbox finally up off the floor, and just some sorters for nuts and bolts and stuff. Top surface is actually why it ended up taking so much longer. The top surface, I ended up doing a couple of fairly thick coats of polyurethane on it and some sanding, so it's quite smooth and doesn't have any of the little kind of breakout splinters that OSB is quite fond of. So it's a pretty smooth and usable work surface, so I'm quite happy with that. And aside from that, we've just kind of done some tidying. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, sort of tidied up back here, cleaned it up quite a lot, pulled down stuff that was growing out of the roof, so that's good. Got all of my materials. Sorry, it's beautiful sunshine, so I couldn't have the door closed, but it's blowing out the ISO. So got all my material storage down here now, kind of roughly sorted. It's like pressure treated stuff, plywood, some OSB, other long stock just down around there. Then we got a pile of tools here that still don't have a home. We got miter saw, table saw on little racks, and then some of the leftover storage boxes here just have small materials in them. Got all my tools here in boxes. Yeah, so it's really good. Nice and clean, nice and clear. Loads of space to work. And as a bonus, I said I wasn't going to do it in this video, but the polyurethane took so long to cure, I put the wheels on this thing. So made a little cart, has wheels on it now. So my little roll front cabinet I can roll around the workshop now as well. So yeah, that's a little bonus content for you. I didn't film any of it because I did it on I did it on the 27th of December, and I did not feel like filming anything, so I just came in to the workshop and did that in a few hours. So yeah, that is more or less the end of this video. Of course, the disco ball stays. I think I'm going to make that a permanent fixture in the workshop. However, the renovations can continue. So yeah, anyway, the star is our big rolling workbench, and now I actually have a workbench, which I'm delighted with. So next things to do, I'm going to make another one of these. I'm going to make a second one of these. I have to order some more timber. It is currently the 1st of January, actually, so Happy New Year. So this week coming, everything should be, fully back reopen again. So I'm going to order some more timber, and yeah, I'm going to make a second one of these workbenches. And then I have plans to make another big old workbench, which is going to be the size of a full sheet of OSB on the top. So that'll be the shop's kind of main big central workbench. Then 2 of these kind of probably either side. They'll have tools on them and stuff. So yeah, that's the plan. Next 2 pieces of furniture. One of these, another one of these, and then big old central workbench. And when I have those done, basically I'll have most of my stuff able to be up off the floor and at working heights and things like that. So yeah, that'll be a huge milestone. Plan then is to have got most of the workshop cleaned up, more than it is now, and probably start the renovations in the spring, which looks like I'm on track for now, which I didn't think I would be. So really happy with that progress we've made. This Christmas holiday season has been fantastic for progress out in the workshop for me, so I'm really delighted with that. So yeah, I think we're going to call it for this video. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching if you made it this far. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something from it. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And as always, I will see you in the next one.